Beautiful pole, super rigid, super easy to use. The clamps, you know, just flip in place, twist lock. We're gonna be taking it up. Got this elevator shaft behind us. 4 stories. Yeehaw. Let's see how she does. I want to show you some fantastic features of the new Excalibur Kevlar weave from SimPole. You see it right there, Excalibur, with the ultra high modulus, sections 1 through 10. So this gives us which is great. It's fantastic if you have higher stuff. We have some 3-story work that is more like 4-story work because it got higher sections in between the floors, where this length of pole comes in super handy. We have had a couple of Excaliburs in the past, still have them in use. The older models, they're super durable. I mean, we haven't had one problem with them. Super durable. They're very rigid, and they have just lasted and been beautiful for us. The collars have never broken on them. We haven't had any issues with them. But the one thing that I wish they were like, that this has now, is the Kevlar weave in the overlap right here. So I'm going to separate this so it's a little easier to handle, but this is sections 1 through 10 foot pole. But let's just drop it down here. One, two, three, four, sections 1 through 5. I'll show you a few more details here. So again, this is the Kevlar weave, which what that means is that is never going to wear out like the painted ones I've never seen this in any other model. Maybe some have it, but I've never seen it woven into the fabric of the pole. So you have the indicator wherever you need the overlap. So as you extend it and you get it close to the edge there, you can see where the overlap starts to come out. That's never gonna wear out. It's not gonna wear out like paint. So you're always gonna have that overlap. Plus, on this model, it's slightly, just ever so slightly, larger in diameter than the regular part. So as you separate the pole, you have easy slide right there, and then you can feel it right when it gets to that edge, the tension gets tighter, which is a physical indicator. I can't guarantee that that's going to show up on every pole, but for this one that I have, that each section has that, which is kind of nice. So you can feel it, so you know that's the stopping point. But if you do extend it past it, you know, oh wait a minute, I got to go back a couple inches there, and away you go. So that has the Kevlar weave in the pole. That indicator is not going to wear out, and you'll always know where the last part is. I've had poles in the past where my employees have extended it to where the paint had worn off, and the pole was just in the very end of the collar and snapped, not on the SimPoles, but on a different model pole, it snapped the end. I don't know if my employees have done it with the SimPoles. I know we haven't broken any collars, but now with the Kevlar weave, that indicator is always going to be there. Each section comes with a plastic stop, so with a hole at the end if you want to feed your line up through the bottom. But with that plastic stop on each section, you can separate the pieces, and the pole and the surrounding area is protected. So you're not having constant fraying at the bottom, or scratching or breaking of the what it's leaning against or itself, which is great. Each section has that in there. Great feature to have on any pole, especially if you run the line on the outside like we do, because it's easy to drop sections. You're not working with 50 feet of weight for a 10-foot section of pole. You can drop what you don't need, use what you do. So again, this is the Excalibur with the new clamps, easy twist tighteners, away you go, not a problem. You should tighten up each of these Allen heads because they lock or they tighten on the base. The base section gets tightened, and then the actual clamp gets finger tightened as well. So tighten the base section first so it has a nice tension and doesn't spin on you. Plus you can replace the clamp if you ever need to relatively easily. But the twist locks and the easy to use thumb pressure there, not a problem on the clamps. And like I said, I've never had any of the SimPole clamps break on me, which is a fantastic advantage. Each one that I have had too comes with this extra little feely here, if I can get the angle on it just right. It's got a little hook in it, which is nice, so when you're at length, you can kind of set your line on, if it's on the outside, right into that gap, and then it's locked in place. It's not just dropping on a rooftop or into the trees or whatever. It's held close to the pole, which is a nice little feature there. This Excalibur only has one of those on the model. If you need more, if you want something different, you can always talk to the manufacturer, see what they have there at SimPole or the dealer, whoever's distributing it to you. Just like all the other SimPoles, you can do a quick trad conversion here. So they come with this, I think it's aluminum end piece with the Euro threads. There, we put an Unger locking cone with just a pressure tension. This isn't threaded, but because it fits nicely, you can just twist it as you're putting pressure on, and it's basically screwed on tight. We haven't had these come off since we've been using them, which is fantastic as well. And then you have an easy to use trad conversion right there. I would say the highest I've ever used the trad pole is probably around 30 feet with a vice versa. I guess I could go 50 feet, but I don't know why I would want to. But I have done about 30 feet with vice versa on the end of a pole and done windows that way. So it's great to have a nice rigid and easy to use clamps on a trad pole. So you always want to be able to convert your pole into a trad pole if possible. Foot Excalibur and the 32-foot Samurai collapsed. You're looking at just over 6 foot. I'm 6 foot and it's a little bit taller, fully collapsed. All 10 pieces of it, and 10 pieces of the Samurai collapses to just a little under 5 feet. So there's different reasons you might want either one. There is a different price point. This Kevlar Excalibur has a higher carbon fiber rating, so it's stiffer. You really want that for the longer pieces than the extra long pole. But because this collapses into shorter pieces, it actually stays very rigid. But we have two other Excaliburs, the older models that we use all the time. We've got 2 Shoguns that we use all the time, and a couple other SimPole pieces here and there, brushes, trad poles, you name it. We love the SimPole line, especially for their rigidity and their durability. All right, so this is our first run with the SimPole Excalibur original UHN 10 sections. We're going to be taking it up. There's this elevator shaft behind us. 4 stories. Yeehaw. Let's see how she does. I want to show you two. I want to show you here, this is the SimPole Excalibur. And because each section is about 5 feet and all fully collapsed, it's about 6 feet. It's kind of tall and bulky in a collapsed state. So what's nice is, if say you only need sections 1 through 5, it's still, take the trad tip out, but it's still over 5 feet, 5.5 feet or so to the top of that. Now when you're on a deck or somewhere and you're doing waterfed pole, you kind of have this extra length at the end that you're really bulky with, and it's kind of long to deal with. So what's nice is, if you have a shorter version of something like the Samurai, maybe you want to just leave sections 1 and 2, which are nice and compact. They're barely 4 feet, if that. But you can still extend it and maybe get a, if there's a little transom or something that you need to wash up on a deck. But you don't have all of that big bulky pole in a narrow, tight area. So instead of doing, you see the difference there. So what you can do with these poles is they're interchangeable. So sections 1 and 2, we'll take it out of the Excalibur. Make sure it's nice and loose so that they slide out easy. There's that indicator. Boom. Now we got sections 1 and 2 of the Samurai. Line it up. There's sections 1 and 2. So now you can go around the house, say there's decks or things you gotta reach up to get that. You're only gonna want sections 1 and 2. You're extending it, you're doing what you need to do on the house. Whatever, waterfed pole, and then you get up to that deck. You don't want the whole thing up there with you. You just pop out sections 1 and 2. Boom, you have it ready to go. So, not that that's what you're going to use it for, but it is nice to know that you can interchange the sections of the new Kevlar weaves with the Kevlar weave on the indicators there. So you can use them with that kind of versatility, which is fantastic. So with this option on the Excalibur and the Samurai combination, you can kind of create your own version of the same thing. You can use the longer pole with shorter end sections, so you can take it apart, use it quickly, throw in a trad tip real fast. You've got an easy to use compact trad pole, which is just wonderful. We love it. We love the SimPole line. I've been using it for years, and like I said, have had great results with longevity, rigidity, durability, all of it combined. Take a look at them if you like. There's a lot of great poles out there. These just happen to be the ones we use. Enjoy.